folks here. So good morning to you. I've had a heck of a week, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Did some fun things. I'll throw up a banner here. Be sure to say good morning, where you're from. If you're on Facebook, make sure you put your name in there so we know who we're talking to. So it is Saturday, July the 23rd. It's already halfway through the year. It's hard to believe that. Over halfway through. Q3 is on us, and we're living in dog years, man. Things are moving so fast. I want to give a quick shout out this morning to some of our friends in the industry, and we're going to talk about them. But Joe Everest over at the Fence Expert, check him out on YouTube. He's over at Ozark Fence in Missouri. You got Dan and Cannon over at My Fence Life. These guys are doing a lot of stuff for the industry I grew up in, the fence industry. Dan Wheeler at the Fence Industry Podcast is doing great things. Matt and Rachel over at My Salesman. We believe in My Salesman. We definitely use them on our website. So good morning. Bam Bam is here. Great to see you. We're rocking and rolling, man. Getting emails like crazy. My phone's dinging. My computer's dinging. But last week we were in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we were at the TChem event. I'm going to drop the banner up. I know we talked about this for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to talk about what happened there and how it went. So I don't know, 150 people probably showed up, contractors, and the weather was perfect. We normally get rained out, but the weather was perfect this year. And we got to do all of our demonstrations up under a big oak tree. And so we were in the shade all the time. But North Carolina really surprised me about how many contractors are there for staining. We met a lot of people. Just about every one of them knew who we were. And it was pretty humbling and exciting to get there and see so many people that already knew us, already using our stain and having good luck with it. So appreciate all you guys in North Carolina. That's important, man, to be able to know your customers and for them to know us. And so we were super excited. And TChem, man, those guys have a world-class operation. One of the finest power wash stores I have seen. Their branding's on point. Their trucks are beautiful. Their people seem to be the best part about them. So they really had some good people there. So glad to be aligned with those guys. If you didn't know, TChem over in Kernersville, which is right outside of Greensboro, is a distributor for our stains over there. And so they had a ton of stain in stock, and they sold a bunch of stains. So I think a lot of people were glad to find out that they could get it there. So if you don't know me, my name's Caleb Roth with Stain and Seal Experts based out of Nashville, Tennessee. We also own Expert Professional Wood Care. We make fence and deck stains and wood cleaners. You can see some of them over one of my shoulders here. And so, man, I'm excited to get started today. I got some questions, and we've been taking questions. And Abby is on our marketing team. She's wonderful. She even put them in a spreadsheet here for me in a Google document. So excited to actually have questions that I can read from and not be fumbling around. So I'm going to say good morning, Bam Bam. This guy, I want to say a quick word about him. He's crazy. I've never known anybody so crazy. Let me tell you the story. So Bam Bam's our operations manager, vice president of operations here at Expert Stain and Seal and Stain and Seal Experts. He goes on vacation to the beach. He's sitting in his beach chair, looking at beautiful women walk by, listening to the waves, watching, sun on his face. And then he just gets this crazy idea. I think I'm going to go help Caleb at the TChem event 4 hours away. So he gets in his car at 3 a.m. and drives all night and comes to help me at this show, and he didn't have to. So, Bam, I salute you. Thank you very much. Above and beyond. Definitely going the extra mile there. So everybody needs a Bam in his life. All right. So we got some questions here. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to take this question here. I'm going to pop it in the chat here in the banner. Be sure to remember, guys, to say hello and where you're from. But I got a question here in just a minute. So somebody said I found it, and but there's no name there. So good morning. And then we got Shell. So enjoyed meeting you at the TCAM event in Greensboro. Looking forward to using your amazing products. Thank you, Shell. Appreciate that. Great to see you, Caleb. I missed the mustache. This is Vincent Santana. Vincent is a great stain salesman over in Texas, and we really appreciate you joining us, Vincent. Need to have you come on the show. All right, let's put a banner up. So here's the first question. I'm going to throw it in the banner, and we're going to scroll it across the bottom of the screen. There it is. If we have expert stains left over at the end of the season, can it be used next season? Well, it depends. Generally, yes. We keep all of our stain for our service department over and over. We just use it until it's gone. We don't throw it out. So worst case scenario, you've got this much left in the bottom of the bucket. You didn't seal the lid all the way, and it sits for 8 months, and maybe some of the stuff in the bottom, the pigments and things like that, settle a little hard. Most colors can be mixed back up. Some of our colors are going to be a little tougher, and it's going to depend on transparency. So your transparent colors, generally really easy. Semi-transparent colors, still pretty easy. You're going to have to mix them a little bit. If you get some of the semi-solids, though, there's so much pigment in there that sometimes, if you're not going out there every month or so, every 2 months or so, and just mixing them up for a second, they could settle a little bit hard on you. The reason for that is because most of the anti-settling agents, a lot of things that stop settling, are made with heavy metals. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be breathing heavy metals when I'm spraying stain. So we don't put heavy metals in our stains. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me to not do that. But we do have a warranty on our stain. If you got a bucket that's been sitting there and it goes bad in the bucket, we'll replace it. No questions asked. Next question. That's about coverage. All right. Here it is. How much coverage will a 5-gallon container go, or a 1-gallon? So this question is a great question. It's most of you might say this is a rookie question, but this actually is not. This is a good question here. So we look at it, first of all, species of wood, age of wood. All of these things have a bearing on this. These things make a difference. But generally speaking, penetrating oil-based stains will go 125 to 150 square feet per gallon on rough cut wood. On smooth lumber, you will generally get 200 to 250 square feet per gallon coverage. And that's pretty much across the board. So I think that's pretty good basic information there. And I think it's pretty universal as well. So hopefully that will help. Got another question here. Let's see. Let's put this up. This is only half the question, but we'll see if we can get it in there. When quoting a fence in a subdivision, how do you handle the neighbors who share the fence? Do you offer their side as well, or do you just let them know you'll be working on the other side, or do you not say anything at all to them? So generally speaking, in Tennessee, in our market, I can only speak for what we do here. In our market here in Nashville, generally, it's your fence. Even if it's on the property line, it's your fence. I bought the fence, it's mine. And I'm going to maintain both sides. And we have a law here in Tennessee, and it's in most states, that you have the right to maintenance your property. So if your fence is built on the property line, you do have the right to go over onto the neighbor's property and maintain that fence. And you obviously you can't be laying in their swimming pool, but you can go over and you can maintain your fence. So most customers want both sides done, and most customers in our market have no problem telling the neighbor, hey, we're going to stain the fence. We're going to do both sides. And most Tennessee people are pretty easygoing. So they'll usually say yes. Every once in a while, we will get a customer. I guess once a year, once every 2 or 3 years, maybe, that says, whoa, 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 you can't come on my property. And, but generally that's just not a problem. I think really, truly the only time I ever had that happen was maybe 10 years ago. It just doesn't seem to be the case. Now, there are some people that we all know that never got to hold the flashlight for their dad when they were a kid, and they are unreasonable. And so, yeah, sometimes that happens, but it's generally not the rule. But if you're going to stain the inside only, you do need to let the homeowner and the neighbor know that, hey, there could be some spots. There could be some penetration spots coming through the fence, of stain coming through the fence. And that would be because the stain penetrates very well. It's going to go through the knots. It's going to wick around the edges of the board. It's going to come under the bottom and wick up. It's going to go over the top and wick down. And so you're going to have some stain that comes through on the other side. You can do a couple of really, really light coats with a long dry time in between, maybe 30 to 45 minutes of dry time. That looks just like a dusting coat. That will work, but it's a pain, but you can do it. And so my advice, talk to the neighbors and talk them into doing the other side too. If it's one customer that owns the fence, then it should be no problem to tell them, hey, why would you only protect half the fence? But if it is a true situation where they share the fence and it's equal ownership, then you're going to have that conversation. And if they do want to do two different colors, which I totally don't recommend, but if they do, you would want to do the lighter color first, followed by the dark color. So there you go. Hope that answers those questions. I'm going to go back to the comments and see who else we got on here. So Vincent said, I found it because I've been looking for your live. Listen to your podcast every time they come out on the Facebook page. I had to switch from recent activity. Thank you, Vincent. You know, we are streaming this on my personal page. So that'll be at Caleb Roth. We're running it on Stain and Seal Experts page, which is our service page. It is live also in the Stain and Seal Experts Staining University page. It is also being streamed live on LinkedIn. And it is also, right now, we're live on YouTube. So if you're on any of those platforms, we'd appreciate it if you'd like this. Maybe give us one of those smiley faces or hearts. Those are better than thumbs up. And share it. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to us. Most people who watch us on YouTube are not subscribed. So please subscribe. And if you're on a podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, anywhere you're listening to these things, man, please leave us a 5-star review. That would be great. Next question. How does one pitch and price deck or fence maintenance programs? First of all, I would change my verbiage. And I'm going to write this down here so you can see. How does one pitch? I don't like the word pitch. I don't know why. I don't like it. And I feel like it could become, it can make some people feel that it's a little derogatory, because nobody wants to be pitched something. I'm going to pitch this to you, The first thing I would do is change the mindset to success is your duty and obligation and responsibility. Number 2, it is your duty and obligation to help your customers make the right decision. And it is your obligation and duty to help these people to know what they've got and how to take care of it. So I feel like it's my responsibility to tell our customers that you have a new fence, you have a new deck. The number one reason for callbacks for fence companies is warping, cracking, and twisting, right? I think we can all agree on that. And the number one reason generally for fence and deck replacement is the fence is warped, it's cracked, it's twisted, it looks bad, and then rotting in the ground. And so how can we fix these problems? So if you're a fence guy, you can offer post saver sleeves upon construction. They're a couple of bucks each, and they give you a 20-year guarantee on the bottom of your post. And so now we've taken care of the rotting in the ground. So now we have a fence that could last forever. As long as it stays dry in the ground, it's going to last forever. The post saver does that. If once that's done, now all we have to worry about is warping, cracking, and twisting, which is generally visual only. That is generally aesthetics and not structural. So how do we fix that? Well, we get your customer on a great wood care program, which would include staining and sealing with a penetrating oil-based stain. Remember, penetrating oil-based stains penetrate all the way into the wood. They nurture the wood and they stop warping, cracking, and twisting. The oil has basically is a replacement sap. That it's moisture. It's going to keep the water out. It's going to keep things that go into the wood. So warping and cracking starts and happens when water goes into the wood, and then it dries out really quickly. Water goes into the wood, it dries out really quickly. A great way to demonstrate this to your customers or to yourself to get a better understanding is to take a wet sheet of paper, just like this. Take a sheet of paper. We wet it down in the sink. Well, first, let's look at the paper. The paper's nice and smooth, right? It's a nice, smooth sheet of paper. Dip it in water and then go lay it out on your back porch when it's about 110 degrees outside, and come back and look at it the next day. It's going to be all wrinkled up. It's going to be shriveled up, and it's really going to look bad. And so if you keep a penetrating oil-based stain in the wood, not on the wood, but in the wood, water can't get in, and the lumber is going to be suppled. And so it can't get in there. It can't open and close with the water can't get in and have that drying and wetting and drying process over and over again, because that's what causes the warping and cracking. And so if you can show your customers that, listen, it's very important that we preserve and protect this fence, deck, whatever it is, and these stains are the absolute best option for that, because you're not going to get warping and cracking. Your deck boards are not going to be cupping. Your fences are going to look beautiful because of the color, but they're also going to be protected. And if you give them that and say, here's the plan for us to do this for life. And some people are scratching their heads and they're thinking, well, for life, I just want this done every 10 years or every 5 years. Well, you can do that. But the thing is how many people has seen a fence that's, got some age on it, and it's got this beautiful water-based coating on there that's basically like a saran wrap around the fence. But the fence itself or the deck itself it's cupped really bad. There's cracks in it. There's splitting. There's shrinkage. There's things that are caused by the lumber totally drying out. We've all seen it. Raise your hand. Give me a thumbs up right now, please, please, if you have seen that. You're not going to get that when you use a stain like what we've got on the screen here. So yeah, every couple of years, have a contractor come out, apply an oil-based coating. The oil is what we're talking about here. We're not talking about stain. We're talking about oil. We want that oil in the wood. That's what's going to preserve the wood. So you can tell most of your customers that are interested in a maintenance plan, you can tell them most brands of stain are designed with ego in mind. And when I say that, they're being built to make the stain coating itself last forever, and they don't care about the wood. We want our stain to last forever. We've got a big warranty on it, and we just want it to be brown or green or red forever. The stain we make, we want the wood to last forever. So our formula is different, and it's a sacrificial coating. So this color on the surface and this sealing properties on the surface is designed to take a beating. It's designed to shield the sun. The oils inside are designed to keep the weather out and also to keep warping, cracking, and twisting from happening. So if you can explain these things to your customer and show them the plan, show them how this can take that investment that they made and make it last without all of the problems. Because everybody knows their deck's going to last forever, but why not have a beautiful deck that lasts forever? And so my idea is, what if the whole world, all the wood care professionals out there, did wood care for life for their customers for the same price or cheaper than they're paying for lawn care right now? Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what we're working on here in Nashville. I don't really want to give the specifics of what we're doing for one reason. I will gamble with my money. I do not want to gamble with your money. So I recommend you sit down and you figure your own numbers out to make sure that you've got them, and run the model out 10 years. Run the recurring model out 10 years so you can look at it and see what kind of growth you would have to have, how much recurring customers would grow, how many new customers would you have to maintain with your goals. So that's what we're doing. We are going to make the change in the industry. We're spearheading it, and I want to see all of you guys getting into the business of recurring revenue models, because our business isn't worth anything if we don't have recurring revenue. So who wants to beat your head against the wall for the next 20 years to retire with nothing? I sure don't. And so that's what we're doing. We'll see if it works. Time will tell. All right. Mr. Marcel Lacherit, I hope I get that right. I'm always nervous. I know some people say that that LA a little different, depending on what part of the country you're in. So good morning, Marcel. We appreciate you doing great things in the Carolinas. We got Eric Land up in Michigan. Good morning. Appreciate your hospitality when we were in Michigan a couple weeks ago. Vincent Santana says Grant Cardone. Not sure what he's talking about, but there you go. Vincent also said, this man just said the wood will be suppled. Yes, sir. It will be suppled. If you put penetrating oil stains on cedar shake roofs, where you've got all these shakes that are curled up, on the roof's looking like this. You put penetrating oil-based stains on them, gravity will flatten them out once those boards become suppled. So, yes, sir, that's a good word, and I like it. Everybody likes something supple. All right, can't wait to use that with my next client. Good deal. We've got a celebrity in here with us. You might have seen his brand on the side of a NASCAR race. You might have seen him at the American Fence Association Fence Tech. You might have seen him North American Fence Contractors Association. Mr. Fence believes in his stuff. Thousands and thousands of fence contractors do. That's Mr. Al Martins from up in Canada. They are Fence Armor. He is the designer of Fence Armor, and great friend of mine, mentor of mine, and we believe in Fence Armor too. So appreciate you coming on and watching, Al. But yeah, he's watching. They are the ones who are responsible for Fence Armor and post savers. And Fence Armor is made in the United States with American steel, and it is a great product because everybody has had a fence post on all their fences. They've stained them. They are beautiful, and you leave the job, everything is gorgeous. And then you come back 6 weeks later to do the deck, and you notice, wow, the fence looks beautiful, but the bottom of the fence around all the posts look bad. What's going on here? Well, the weed eater guy has come through here and is destroyed the bottom of my fence. So I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share here and show you who Fence Armor is, because I think if you don't know, maintenance plans are a great thing, but this Fence Armor is especially important if you're going to do a maintenance plan, because you don't want to be touching up the bottom of the post every year for the next 10 years. Go ahead and get Fence Armor. It goes on with a screw, one screw. It's got a warranty on it. You're never, ever, ever going to run into warranty issues because this product lasts forever, and it makes the fence look beautiful. And it is actually a great differentiator, because when you're bidding projects for people who believe in quality and they see quality and they want quality, Fence Armor will make your bid rise to the top. So let's see who's Fence Armor. All right, here they are, fencearmor.com. It just so happens, full disclosure, they are the Canadian distributor for all of our stains. So we believe in them that much that we handed them the reins to our stain. And also, we're a distributor for them down here in the States. But let's talk about Fence Armor for a minute and show you what it does. I want to see this graphic here. Let's go down. Let's go find it. Here it is. Okay. So the innovative strength of Fence Armor. So you notice you've got this steel, I don't know what you call it, this steel guard there, and it goes on to the fence post. It is strong. It is You can't beat it up with a weed eater. If the lawnmower hits it with the edge of the deck, it's not going to destroy it. But it goes on with just 1 or 2 screws. You can put it on one side of the post or both sides. They come in all different colors, all different styles. They got post caps that go on. You don't have to screw the post cap on. You don't have to nail it on. Back in the fence days, for me, post caps would fall apart, or you had to get a bucket or a ladder to stand on to put them on because you had to run a nail through the top or a screw. That was a pain. So that's a great upsell for a stain guy. You got exposed post tops, put post caps on them, and of course the post saver sleeve is there as well. But I'm looking for a graphic here. We need to have Al come on and show him, have him walk us through this. But fence armor is a great thing, and I think you guys would enjoy using it. But there's the team there. There's Al. And anyways, trust the strength of steel, right? So HOAs, this is one of the secrets to us and to a lot of guys who get HOA fences, because when you go to an HOA or a community, they usually want the cheap bid, right? And everybody's trying to struggle to become the cheapest. And when you don't have to worry about being the cheapest, you've got to use fence armor, right? So fence armor, they see the value in that. And so it stops this problem right here. See how this post is just chewed all to pieces and destroyed. So there you go. That's kind of the idea on it there. How can we make this fence last forever? One more way right here to make it work. So find your damaged post, or hopefully your undamaged post. You can seal it, stain the fence. Step number 2, even says it right on the website. So that's a great selling feature for your homeowner. Hey, you got to seal it. Then put your fence armor on there. And we can do fence armor. 2 guys, we can do about 200 feet of fence in about 15 minutes. One guy walks through the yard, drops a fence armor piece at the bottom of every post. And then another guy comes behind with a drill or an impact, runs them right in. So thanks for stopping by, Al. Hope I didn't butcher that too bad. Wasn't expecting you, so I just wanted to say thanks for watching. But Marcel said he just cleaned a fence yesterday that looks like that. And we got Zach up north of us, I think Indiana or Illinois. I believe it's Indiana. Zach's in the house. Al Martin says thank you. And Mr. Michael Raber, what would you think would be the best way to advertise for stain jobs when you're just starting your own staining business? Michael, are you still with us? Are you still on the line? Let me know if you are, because I want to answer this question, but I want to ask you a question. What is your background? Are you currently a power washer, a fence builder? Do you work at UPS? Tell us what your current situation is, because what I want to know is who's in your power base. Your power base is the people around you that you know, that you're associated with, because that's the first place I would go. If you worked at UPS, I would, I don't know if this is advisable advice. This is what I would do. If I worked at UPS, I would have my business cards made. I would tell everybody that I worked with at UPS, look, man, I'm starting this thing. It's going to be huge. We're going to stain and seal fences and decks. We're going to save people a lot of money. We're going to make the most beautiful yards in the neighborhood. Do you know anybody who needs their fence or deck stained? Does your mom need her deck? Does your friends need her deck? Do you need your deck? And then when I'm out dropping off packages, I'm going to be looking for neighborhoods. Where's the neighborhoods I need to be working in? I'm probably going to be dropping business cards if I'm walking down the street. I don't know, might get you fired from UPS, but if you're going on your own anyways, might as well get a jump start on it. So probably terrible advice there, but that's what I would do. I'm a pretty dominant type personality that wants to just go get it. And so I have a tendency to take some risks. So that's what I would do. But you don't have to do anything crazy if you're at your current job. You want to be respectful of your employer, and but you could certainly start calling everybody in town. Who builds fences? Call them. Who stains? Who power washes? Call them. Call the paint companies and say, hey, I heard painters hate staining fences. I stain fences. Could I give you a couple of my business cards? And maybe I could get some of yours, because I hate painting houses, and we could just swap information to clients. I think that's the best thing you could do to start your own staining business, is to use the word of mouth, reach out to the people around you and talk to them that way, because people, you can't get shadow banned. You can't go to Facebook jail. You can't end up with any of those problems that you can't get on the internet. You can't make one simple mistake and all your SEO actually goes against you. You can't make those mistakes if you learn how to talk to people and be there for them. So that's what I would do. That's the number one thing. Start talking to people. Good morning from Ocala, Florida. Jack Johnson, man. Jack, I appreciate you watching. You've been here before. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Got another question related to the maintenance plan, and that was, how would you take payment yearly? Where did it go? How would you take payment yearly, monthly, annually? I think we could take a page out of the book that other companies are using that have maintenance plans. HVAC companies, bug companies, what are those called? Pest control companies. And I think if you took a page right out of their book, I think what a lot of them are doing is they're either doing a card on file or ACH payment monthly. That's the way I would like to see it. We've done yearly forever. We've always done yearly, if you want to have us come out, but generally that's very transactional. It's you come out to wash it once a year, we'll pay you. Then you come out the third year to restain it, we'll pay you. What we want is recurring revenue. In my company, I want monthly. I want it hitting the bank account monthly, a very small amount, so we can get this steady cash flow coming in. And it's going to be, you got 10 people on it, the cash flow is going to be zero. It's going to be very small. But when you got 780 people on it in your market, think about $79 a month times 780 people. What does that look like? 780 times $79 a month. Oh, that sounds a whole lot like $61,620 a year for one location. So, or I'm sorry, 61. Wait a minute, guys. $61,620 a month, not a year, a month. So, if you could do something like that, which is where we're intending to go, it would level out the off season. Why can contractors who do professional wood care not keep good employees? I hear this over and over. It's because you're not paying them in the wintertime. You have to lay them off in the winter. Nobody who's a great asset on your team. Now, this is speaking in generalities, because there's some great people that love to work seasonally. But generally speaking, it's hard to get level 10 talent if they know you're going to lay them off in October and you're not going to call them back until April or March. That is hard. The reason I want to see our industry go to maintenance models and monthly revenue models, not yearly, but monthly, is because our industry is a bell curve, right? You might have months where you lose money, and then you're going to have these months where you make a ton of money, and then you better get ready and save your money because wintertime's coming. And a lot of industries have been that way, bell curve. How do we get rid of the bell curve? Well, if we had $61,000 a month coming in, just on recurring revenue, not counting your daily revenue, that would level it out. You would be able to keep good employees. We have always done that without the recurring revenue. We've paid our crews. You guys look at our business and say, wait a minute, how do they get such good people to always be there doing great things? Right. We do have phenomenal team members, but they're here all year long. I knew that if we were going to have great team members, we got to pay them all year long. So our guys, they're getting paid in January. They're getting paid just like July. It hurts. It does hurt. It's painful for us sometimes because the cash flow is not good in those months. But I knew if I got the right people in the right place, then later we could figure out the revenue. And that's what we're doing. And not everybody can afford to do that. But we've been very blessed. And that's what we're doing. So my goal is to keep doing that, get the whole industry doing that. And once that happens, our whole industry can start getting level 10 talent. And it's going to be the classic saying, a rising tide raises all ships. So monthly, if you can go monthly, go monthly. Door hangers, an hour a day goes a long way. Door hangers, an hour a day goes a long way. Vincent Santana, spoken like a true professional. And I know I know he's doing, I think, like 6 or 12 miles a day of door hangers. So you got to get out there and hustle, and these guys are doing it. All right. Yeah, Zach said he paid $135 for 500 high quality door hangers. There you go, man. I would encourage you. I heard a story from someone. Let me get a drink of water. I heard a story about flyers. A guy talked to someone who was having a ton of luck with flyers. And so he told, so the guy watching said, "Oh, flyers, I'm going to do that." He figured out the guy was doing flyers. His mentor told him to do flyers, and he put out 300 flyers all over the city for gym services. They had a gym. And the flyers, when they talked a month later, the guy said, "Hey, how did the flyers go?" And he said, "Well, I mean, it was okay. We got a couple of calls, but it didn't really work." And his mentor said, "Well, how many flyers did you do?" And he said, "Well, we did 300. And the guy said, "What? We a test for us, just a test is 5,000. Only 5,000 is a test. And then once we find out which one works, then we do 5,000 a day." And then that made the guy go, "Oh, wow. Well, that's okay. That's interesting." So the reason I say that, Zach, is 500 door hangers. Awesome. If you want to blow it up, if you really want to blow it up, order 50,000 brochures and door hangers and get somebody to put them out, because I think that's what, if you can handle that, that's what would really, really push it over the limit. And the price per brochure, the price per door hanger, it's going to be cheap. When you order that many, the price would definitely be cheaper. Morning from Claymont, Delaware. Mike D'Antonio. Hope y'all have a real good day. Hey, Mike's from Nomad Fence, I believe, and the Fence Authority. We got that right, up in PA. So appreciate you joining us, Mike. If you remember, Mike's the guy who won the Graco 390 a year or so ago when we did the giveaway. So hope that thing's making you a ton of money. Ugly Roofs, soft wash and pressure washing up in Ohio. Good morning. Logan Johnson's on here. Awesome, man. We got a celebrity on here. So Logan Johnson's from JB Fence and Restoration down in Texas, and does some of the most beautiful jobs I've ever seen. Those guys really do beautiful work. And Vincent is his right-hand man. I think Vincent actually runs the show. Is that right? Vincent, you running the show down there? And Stain Man Kenny Dugan is joining us. He needs his own show, but he says if BMW can do it. I'm not sure what he means. BMW can do it. Let us know what you mean about that, man. I'm interested. So me and Kenny were having a conversation the other day about hydrogen peroxide for wood care. And I discovered that you cannot neutralize hydrogen peroxide. Kenny, have you found that to be different? Because we've been looking at that, and it burns your skin. And like if you get a wood stripper like sodium hydroxide or something like that on your skin, you can neutralize it quickly with what you would use an acid. So if we got wood stripper on our hand, we would just neutralize it with brightener, which would be oxalic acid. And I'm wondering, can you do that with hydrogen peroxide? So don't think so. Internet says no. So we will look and see. I did put it on a board, it darkened the board, and then I could not brighten it with an acid or a base. So that's interesting. But Kenny Dugan says BMW is charging monthly for heated seats. They are a genius. What kind of criminals are we dealing with here, man? This is insane. If I buy a car, it's going to come with heated seats, but not paying monthly. Not going to do that. So Vincent says, I just meet people, educate them, and bring the money to Caitlin. We have a great team. So I like it. But what he's saying is he meets people, he talks to them, he builds a relationship, he tells them what's up, he educates them. It probably helps that he has this long, gorgeous black hair, and he looks like Fabio or something. He looks like a male model. That always helps. I could probably sell a little more if I looked like that. But if you're ugly like the rest of us, then you're just going to be really good on the education part and have a great smile. So for the rest of us souls out there, we just got to do it the old-fashioned way. So Let's talk more about stain. Um, where can you get stain? We got a ton of dealers for Expert Stain and Seal, and I'm going to spend a brief second telling you about where some of them are. I'm just going to briefly mention our top dealers here. Actually, I'm going to pull up a spreadsheet, and so I get them all. I never want to leave anybody out, and I can run through them, on the list a lot faster than I can use my memory, because I have a brilliant memory, but it is only 5 minutes long. All right. So got a list right here. We got All Star Fence and Supply up in Tennessee, Paris, Tennessee. Premier Fence, that's Walter Donnell's company over in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So these guys have got stain in stock. We got Panhandle Power Washing Supply. I'm going to stop right here for just a second, and I'm going to pull their website up, because some of you guys have been looking for the Holy Grail, and I know exactly where it's at. phpw.com. I'm going to find their website, and I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it. And the reason, Panhandle Power Wash, I type like a third grader. All right. So Panhandle Power Wash Supply. First of all, most of you guys know Trudy. This is a great company to do business with, and don't take my word for it. They actually won on all the Facebook groups for power washers. They won they got recognition for being favorite power wash supplier. So they won, right? So that was pretty cool. So when you go to panhandlepowerwashsupply.com, this is their website. Great people. They're just like us. They ship things out immediately. They're fast, but they hold stain. They sell our stains. And they've got a ton of our old stain in stock. So they took a delivery right before Staining University this year in February, right at the end of February, and they got stain right before our new labels come on. So that also means that they got the old pricing. So they've got some stain that you could get probably a lot cheaper than and I don't know where it's at on the website. You have to call them. Give them a call, because they've got a ton of it in stock. But give Trudy a call. I'm going to put her information up right here. It's panhandlepowerwashsupply.com or 850-835-4052. They've got a couple pallets of the old stain in stock, and that's a discounted price or I'm not going to say it's a discounted price. It is cheaper price point now than it was than what the new stain is. So if some of you guys love the Old Faithful stuff, and you want to get it somewhere, you wish you could get it, you wish you could stock up, save yourself some money, go to Panhandle Power Wash, give them a call. Trudy would love to sell that stain for you, so she could get the new labels in stock. So give that a shot. Somebody's going to jump all over that and make Trudy happy and save themselves a bunch of money. So that's a good thing. But let's go back to our list. So Panhandle Power Wash Supply, check them out. We got Chattahoochee Stain and Seal down in Columbus, Georgia. We got Hercules Fence Supply, which is in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Some really good people, been in business for like 100 years. Love them. Great folks. We got American Fence Staining and Supply over in Tulsa, Oklahoma. These guys move through a ton of stain. They're doing a great job supplying their market, and there's some really nice folks. That's Don Biddle, if he's watching. We got Perem Tech, which is an online retailer, sells stain to a whole lot of do-it-yourselfers. We got Texas Fence Supply Online, which sells stain all over the world. I think they sell stuff to Japan and China and everywhere else, but you got them based out of Dallas, Texas. Lawrence Lumber in Houston, some really good people there on the north side of Houston, and Cleveland, Texas, and they keep a lot of stain in stock. They also own Houston Deck and Shade, which is the largest deck builder in Texas. In Houston, and they believe in expert stain and seal. So we appreciate it. Martin's Lumber. There's several Martin's Lumber scattered across Texas. We've got our stain in several Martin's Lumbers in Houston. Also, we're a distributor, or Universal Forest Products is a distributor for us. And so if you have a store and you work with UFP, call them. You can ask for Bernie. We got Hudson Fence Supply, which is now, I'm sorry, Hudson Fence over in Lubbock, Texas. Um, those guys are great folks. We also have, what is it? Eastern Fence Supply in North Carolina, which used to be Hudson Supply. So they changed their name, and that's over in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got Heritage Fence in Skippack, Pennsylvania. We got Kasurik Distributors, which distributes stain all over the Northeast. Mr. Fence, the notorious Sean King up in Evansville, Indiana. They got stain right there in their warehouse. Ideal Fence in Kokomo, Indiana. Ozark Fence and Supply, that is Joe Everest, the man in orange. Empire Fence, Matt Warner, the guy who talks about culture, the king of culture, the guy who goes, woo! Empire Fence, they keep it in stock over in Waverly, Nebraska. That's right outside of Lincoln. Triangle Pressure Services in Raleigh, North Carolina. T. Kim in Kernersville. We got Chesterfield Fence and More up in Richmond, Virginia. Reuben Borg Fence in Livermore, California. We got 8 locations for the Fence Factory in California. We private label for them. It will be called Fence Factory Stain, but it's Stain and Seal Expert stuff. And then we got Fence Armor, covers all of Canada. You can also pick it up at the One Stop Fence Shop in Vancouver, BC. These are just some of our distributors. But when I call those names out, I'm saying that so if you're listening, you can find a quick place to buy it. That we have obviously lots and lots of people using our stain, and so if you need stain in a hurry and you can't wait for it, you probably got somebody within an hour's drive of you that's got it in stock. If you're running low, he says where at in Kokomo. Let's look it up. Let's see. I believe that's Ideal. So if you look up Ideal Fence, you will find them. And let's see here. They are on Reynolds Drive in Kokomo, Indiana. Let's go to Ideal Fence. Let's check them out. Make sure we're on the right one. Nope, that's in Massachusetts. Ideal Fence, Kokomo. All right. So, yep, Ideal Fence, Kokomo, Indiana. It looks like they do a lot of vinyl fencing, a lot of cedar fencing, and I believe they're on Team Blue with Sean King, Mr. Fence. So if any of you guys are familiar with that, you'll know. But yeah, great folks over there. They've got stain on the shelf. All these people that we mentioned have stain in stock. So keep that in mind. So if you need it, you got it. Also, the Stain and Seal Experts store. I'm going to show you guys something because I think it's important. We don't have dealers everywhere. So Stain and Seal Experts, our service business, is an authorized online distributor of our stains. And a lot of you guys are contractors and you need contractor pricing. The promo code that we have will soon be no more. All of our customers, all of our customers are going to get a promo code. They're going to get, I'm sorry, an account. So if you haven't done it yet, you can help me out by going and signing up for an account. If you want to be a contractor, you want to get contractor pricing, want to get quick updates, you want to get all of the things contractors are getting, but you want to be able to do it quickly. You want to be able to do it on the couch or whatever, sleeping in the bed at night or whatever, wherever you look at your cell phone and order stain. Here's our website. So this is the Stain and Seal Experts store. So again, authorized retailer for Stain and Seal Experts, for Expert Stain and Seal, Post Saver, Fence Armor. We sell Rewood, which is reclaimed California redwood wall panels. So there's our citronella oil. But anyways, when you get on the homepage here, there's a row of things across the top: fence and deck stains, log and timber oil, cleaners and brighteners, sample kits, repellents, post protection, and then this tab here says bulk orders. And you're also going to notice at the top it says my account. So if you click on bulk orders, you get a page here that says to inquire. So registered users, please log in. So if you're already registered, just log in. You can click on my account or you can click here. If you want to create an account, there's 2 things you got to do. First, create an account. You're going to put in your email address and a password. Then you'll get an email confirmation. Okay, so that's going to look just like this: first name, last name, email, and password, and click create an account. You will then get the confirmation. Now you've got an account. Now we got to figure out you got to fill out this inquiry form. Next thing, which is basically onboarding. So we need your name, we need your email address. We've already, because that's going to coincide with your account. We need your business shipping address, business mailing address if it's different. You need your business phone number, business website. We love to know how many years you've been in business. We love to know what your service area is, and please, if you can, in this area, tell us about your business. Hey, we're running 7 crews. We're staying in fences 700 days a week, or we're just brand new guy, just getting started, want to learn more. And that will help us to know what resources to give you to help you get started. And it'll also make it easy for us to know what your price is. The guy who's buying 2 truckloads of stain a week gets a little better pricing than the guy who's just starting out, just because shipping and rates like that, the more you buy, the cheaper it is to ship it. So please check out the bulk orders thing. But when you do sign into your account right here, the store is going to look exactly the same as normal, but you have to go, you click on the bulk orders tab. When you're signed into your account and you click on the bulk orders tab, you'll do all your ordering from there, because it'll be an exact replica of our store, but it will show your actual pricing on it. So it's a good thing to do. And it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save us a lot of time too. So check out the bulk orders tab. I would like to see about 500 people before the end of the weekend sign up for bulk orders. That will really help us in the onboarding process, make it easy, because otherwise we have to manually do that for you. So help us out, go sign up for an account. So Dan D'Antonio was telling me about this sprayer that he won last year. So we did a giveaway, and he said it's made him about $12,000 so far, and it's going to amplify me to go full time with his company, Nomad Fence, when he feels like he knows enough. Awesome, man. Congratulations. All right. That is about it, guys. So next week, I'm going to meet business coach. Gonna spend some time with them. Gonna ask some questions and hopefully get smarter. So if you're looking for me next week, I may not be available the first half of the week. But the office is, you can call us at 615-785-1861 and get in touch with us there. Let's see here. I'm going to answer one last question before I hit the road, because it is time to go spend time with the family. The business part, explaining how to get to know your numbers. All right. No, I don't want to answer that question. Let's, how do I figure out what to charge for services? Let's take that question, because that's an easy one that we can fix really quick. Let's drop it up here in a banner. So somebody's asking, how do you learn how to price? How do you learn how to quote? When first starting out doing staining and sealing, what do I charge? How do I figure out how to charge for services? Well, I'm going to make a couple recommendations. One, I recommend that you start following Tom Reber over at the Contractor Fight. Tom Reber's based in Colorado. He was a business coach of mine for a while. I've moved on to different coaches. And the reason, full disclosure, is Tom works with contractors. He gets contractors going from $0 to $100,000 a year. And what I'm talking about is income. If you want to make $100,000, if you're sitting somewhere right now and $100,000 sounds good to you, follow Tom Reber. He will show you how to make your business do that for you. You got to work your tail off, but he will show you the formula on how to do it. But what Tom Reber says is all service businesses need to be making at least a 50% gross profit margin. So 50% is really easy to figure. So I'm going to pull up a video here, and I'm going to show you the video to watch that will help you find out how to get to a 50% profit margin for fence staining or deck staining business. Okay. And the reason I'm showing you this is because it is specific to what we are doing. How to bid deck staining jobs, how to bid. Actually, I'm going to do the 101. I'll put that one up there because it's probably the better one for you. How to start a fence and deck staining business. Awesome. Got a video already on this. Cool. So we've got a YouTube channel. It's called @StainandSeal_Experts. If you are watching on here, you already know. But if you're not, then you don't know. Go check out our YouTube channel, because we've got tons of videos that are basically 2 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour long webinars that go over everything, all the details. Here it is. There's the link. Check on that one right there. That's Intro to Fence and Deck Staining Business. Go watch this. We've been doing this a long time, and if we can help you avoid the mistakes that we've made along the way, you'll find it right there in that video. But 50% gross profit margin is a great place to start. You got your stain cost, you've got your labor cost, you've got your fuel cost, your mileage cost. That's the three things I like to have in my cost of goods sold. But you also may have sundries. So maybe you bought 3 spray suits, you threw them away when you were done. You bought a gallon of gas for your gas powered generator or sprayer. You bought a mask that you had to throw away when you were done, and then 2 paintbrushes. You would throw all that in there because that is cost of goods sold. That is part of what it took to get the job done. But generally, labor, materials, and mileage is what I like to figure in there. And let's say that that all adds up to $1,000. So our cost to do this job is $1,000. Cost of goods sold, $1,000. And in a word about the labor, you got to figure a real world labor cost. You can't say, well, I will make my money on the back end. You have to include labor in that. If you don't, you're going to starve to death. You have to include labor. So if you're doing the job and you're an owner operator, you're a craftsman, and if you went and got a job for somebody else doing the same thing, and it would be $30 an hour or $20 an hour or $10 an hour, whatever it is, whatever that level of quality is that you're doing, then you got to include it into the equation there. So labor, materials, mileage, multiply it times 2. There's your equation. That's your profit on this. So we also can look up a profit calculator, because a lot of people don't understand the difference between markup and margin. So we're going to show you, but a quick way to get to 50% is just to multiply it times 2. So if your cost of goods sold is $1,000, you double it. That is $2,000. There will be, excuse me, there will be $1,000 left over for your gross profit. Your gross profit goes to pay everything else, which is the rent, the insurance, the lady who answers the phones, all of those things, and then owner's draw or whatever. You know, if you're an owner who's not in the field doing work, then you're going to have owner's draw. All of those things are going to come out of that. Let's show you a margin calculator to give you an idea. All right. So this is the last thing before we close this thing down. And I think you'll really appreciate this, because this is going to blow a lot of people's minds. So Chrome tab, let's find the right one. Oh, it's in a different tab. All right, got to put it over here. So a margin calculator. There it is. All right, now you guys can see it. Let's make this thing big. So here's a calculator. So if our cost of goods sold is $1,000, we want a 50% margin. It breaks it out right here. So it shows your revenue. This would be the price you would charge, $2,000. Your profit would be $1,000. All right. Let's just say your cost of goods sold is $543 and you want 50%. There it is. Revenue, $1,086. This one's the easy one to do. Let's say we want to go to a 30% margin, which is where a lot of people are doing things. Here's the problem. You've sent a crew out on a job. It cost you $543 to do it. You're charged $775. That leaves you $232.71 in gross profit. You've got to pay all the bills. You've got to pay the rent. You've got to pay the taxes, because taxes have got to come out of this number too. Okay, so pull 30% off the top of that. You got to do all of these things just before you ever make a net profit. And so that's why Tom says you got to be at least 50%. 50% is not great, but you got to be at least 50%. Now, Alex Hormozy, the big guy, the big buff guy with the big mustache, the $100 million, he's got $100 million worth of portfolio companies, and he's about 32 years old. He says that the biggest service companies, the fastest growing service companies, they are working on an 80% margin minimum. And the biggest companies like Netflix, who is a service provider, they are working on 99 to 100% margins. So I want you to think about that for a minute. 99% margin. This is why when you call the guy, here's a great example. Let's find out. So a couple years ago, I paid about $1,500 to change a light switch in a house that I was trying to sell, and I had an inspection. I quickly had to change a light switch. I had already moved all my stuff out, no tools. So I called Hiller Plumbing in Nashville. It cost me $1,500. Okay. Now they had about a $7 light switch, which they probably buy in bulk and get them for $3. They had probably, let's say, $35 worth of fuel in the job. And I'm guessing they paid the guy $20 an hour to do it. And so with tax burden and everything on the labor, let's just say $25 an hour it cost them. And it took them 15 minutes. So let's just say that there was 2 hours. Let's say that they had $100 cost in that. Okay. They charged me $1,500. Their cost was $100. They charged me $1,500. They profited $1,400, which is a 93% gross profit margin. And I thought it was expensive, but that was just a complaint, and I paid the bill. And so that company went from, in just about 10 years, they went from 1 truck to 600 trucks. 600 trucks, $100 million company. I think they're closer to a $200 or $300 million company now. And so we all look at these companies that are growing so fast. They're growing so huge. We've all seen the pest control company where you see 1 truck and you're like, oh, look, a new pest control company. And then a year later, you see them on every corner. They got 50 trucks. They got a location on the north side of town, a location on the south side of town, and you can't figure out what are they doing. They must be just super wealthy. They must be something. They must have a special lot in life. Maybe they do, but a whole lot of them are charging a super high margin. And so the point of this conversation is not to talk you into overcharging people or price gouging or things like that. That's not the conversation, but I just want to get the wheels turning so that you realize the companies that are growing the fastest are charging the highest gross profit margin. And that is just the way that it is, especially companies that can onboard you with something for very little cost, like Netflix, right? It doesn't cost them anything to put you on at Netflix. So their 100% or 99% gross margin, it's all profit for them. So if you could find a business like that, you could really do well. So guys, I appreciate you watching the show today. Tom Reber at the Contractor Fight. That is Tom Reber. He's got a great podcast. Check him out if you want to get punched in the face with some real world information, how to grow your contracting business. Call Tom Reber. And if you want to get stain for your project, go to realgoodstain.com or go to expertwoodcare.com to find a dealer. And if you are listening to this and you've got a store, you've got a friend who's got a store, maybe you've got a distribution company. We're looking for partners like you. We need good people to get our stain out to all of the people who need it. So please get in touch with me. And if you're in Nashville, you need your fence or deck stained, go to stainandsealexperts.com, guys. I will see you next Saturday. Thank you all so much for watching the show.